Hey everyone! So, I hope you've heard of the Hermitcraft Postal System, which is a brilliant way of sending shulker boxes between players spread across a whole Minecraft server. Well, I've put in some extra work and made some massive changes, and so today I want to show you the advanced postal system that I came up with. Let's take a look. Let's check how all of this works. I've prepared a map with a few locations. Different places where a few people live, right here, a small shopping district, and some locations further away, like an end portal. I currently don't have an elytra and want to get one from the end. Let's walk through how this postal system might help us with that. First, to have some support, let's ask someone if they'd like to join us for this adventure. I'll send them this message. Let's grab a shulker box and their stamp. Place the shulker box here, put the stamp in the first slot, and then their message. To send, I just press this button, and it's on its way. I've added some info to the map to make it easier to follow what is happening. You can see the network, where the shulker box is currently, as well as a timer. It is super fast, so the box is already about to arrive. But anyway, I'll keep the map open down here while we take care of the next issue. I'm not yet fully prepared for the trip. I'm all out of food. Luckily for me, there's a shop in the shopping district that sells half a stack of golden carrots for 2 diamonds. But instead of going there ourselves, we'll buy it through the mailing system. To do this, I'll just get another shulker box, the stamp for the shop, our own stamp as kind of a return stamp, and 2 diamonds, because I think half a stack of carrots is enough. First, we put in the shop stamp, so it arrives there. Then we put in our own stamp, so the shop knows where to send it back to. And finally, our payment. And there it goes. While we wait for that delivery, let's just get ready for the trip. We need armor, tools, some ender pearls, a water bucket so we can bucket clutch in emergencies, a few different Oh, I just heard something arrive. Let me finish this up and I'll take a look. Now let's check what we got. Looks like a response from our friend. Let's read it. Unfortunately they can't make it, but I'm very thankful for the golden apple. Now, while we're still waiting for our delivery, which will probably take about another minute, let's prepare for the third use of the mail system, teleportation. To teleport, we just get a shulker box, the stamp for where we want to teleport, and a player tag for us. You can also teleport multiple players at once with this. Again, the stamp goes first, then we'll just put in our player tag. I'll prepare it already, but only press the send button once our food has actually arrived. Speaking of, it should only be about half a minute out. Let's bring the map back up so we can see the trip more clearly as soon as the box travels back to us. Deliveries take a bit of time because the shop needs to take out the payment and fill all of the items in there. There, it is just taking off from the shopping district. And is making its way back to us. Only one more intersection. Yep, I heard it. There it is. Half a stack, just like we ordered. We'll put the box in here. And now send off our teleport, finally. The end portal is a bit more than 1,000 blocks away. With an elytra in the overworld, this would take about 40 seconds. In the nether, only 15. As you can see, using the mail system can be competitive with other forms of travel. And there we are. Alright, let's jump in. So we just prepared for our adventure from the convenience of our own home. We talked to another player on the server, went shopping, and fast traveled, all with this mailing system. Pretty cool, huh? So how does it actually work? Let's look at it in some more detail. The idea is inspired by how computers communicate. When you send something to someone else, it gets routed along the shortest path to the destination. This postal system also has wires and routers. The routers are here at all of the intersections, all the rest are wires. Let's start simple. This here is a section of a wire. We put an item in here, and it automatically gets spit out at the other end, using an instant dropper line. This is really fast and only takes about half a second per chunk. These are stackable, so you can build them in a long chain, or like this. You might be wondering why there are so many portals here. These are for chunk loading. Every time an item passes through the wire, we send a minecart to the portal. It gets destroyed at the other side and comes back through as an item. This loads 3x3 chunks and makes it possible to send items even when no player is loading that area. By chaining these chunk loaders together, the mail can move along while always staying within loaded chunks. Now let's take a look at a router, basically the heart of this whole system. These are a bit more complex because they basically include a whole item sorter in there. But what they end up doing is pretty simple actually. You put mail into one of these incoming droppers. It then gets sorted into the correct direction and pops out one of these outgoing droppers. It only takes about 4 seconds. You can have up to 100 different destination stamps going into these chests up here. For example, these chests contain all the stamps going south, and you can see they're in here like that. This is like a list the router checks, and if the stamp of the package is on that list, it is sent into that direction. To make sending items faster, this is all built in the nether, because the distance there is divided by 8 compared to the overworld. If we connect the routers and wires up, we can eventually route items from any location to every other location. Let's go back to the showcase world and look at the network. I'm at spawn, where you can find a few helpful tools. There are books explaining everything, but what I want to show you is this visualization. You can see a miniaturized version of the map and what components are built where. You can recognize the wires here, and wherever multiple wires intersect, a router. Let's follow a shulker box along its whole trip to make it easier to understand what's happening. This is going to be slowed down to 1/3 of the original game speed, but will still be really fast. When we push the button, the box is broken and sent downwards with an instant dropper line through a portal. Here it enters the mailing system and reaches the first router. It checks the stamp and figures out if it needs to go north, east, south or west to the destination. In this case east, so it's sent along the wire in that direction. It goes along the wire and reaches the second router, which again checks which direction the package needs to go, in this case east again. This all is done within about 4 seconds. It reaches the third router, which again checks which direction the stamp needs to go and sends it south in this case. It gets sent through the portal and in the overworld is sent upwards using a really fast dropper elevator. And it finally reaches the destination mailbox. Now that you understand the basic concept, let's look at the other uses. We'll start with the shopping module. This just attaches to the system instead of a mailbox and handles all the incoming mail automatically. It takes out the payment items and puts whatever you bought into the shulker box. This is the amount of payment items the shop will take, which can be any number between 2 and 5 stacks. And here's the payout amount, which can be between 1 item and 5 stacks. The stock goes in here, and all your profits will end up down here. There are a ton of edge cases with this, but I'm pretty confident that I've taken care of all of them. If you don't pay enough, you'll just get your diamonds back. If you pay too much, you'll get back what you overpaid. It doesn't buy more than can fit in your shulker box, and so on. Overall, it is really flexible and I think a great use to plug into this mailing system. The last thing is teleportation. This is pretty simple. Whenever mail arrives at a TP location, the shulker box is emptied and all of the items pass sorters for the player tags. And these then just trigger a reusable ender pearl stasis chamber to teleport you. Since the mail network is pretty fast, teleporting like this can be even faster than going to the nether yourself. And it definitely is more convenient, because you can use the time while it teleports you to get ready and maybe grab a few more items for the trip. Now, I was just about ready to release this video when Mojang dropped 1.21.5 and made a tiny bug fix that completely broke the system, fixing MC 101.556. This kills chunk loaders like the one I used, meaning I'd have to rework all components while likely making it overall far slower. This also has the side effect that items can sometimes skip through the portal, meaning throwing something into another portal is no longer guaranteed to actually teleport it. So this is my appeal to Mojang. Please revert this fix. You're breaking the currently fastest portal chunk loader, and throwing items through a portal is no longer consistent. You're hurting the technical community in this whole process. That being said, I'll try to find a fix for 1.21.5 and hope the speed impact will not be too bad. But meanwhile, I'm also working on some tutorials that will be available in the near future. The mailbox, router and wire first, but also the shopping module and teleportation setup. And I already have some more survival friendly versions in the pipeline too, in case you're okay with a slower system that uses way less resources. In case you really can't wait, there's a world download for the showcase world in the description, so you can check out all of the components yourself. But keep in mind it doesn't work on 1.21.5. But yeah, if you don't want to miss anything, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for some more videos in the future. I hope you enjoyed this one, and until next time, take care.